with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask, yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope. My eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Help me ET phone. Whole body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need? Golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital.
By listening to the following, you are acknowledging that the comments, opinions, and analyses expressed by Metatope LLC, its representatives, or any other contributor are for informational purposes only and should not be considered individual investment or legal advice or recommendations to make an investment or adopt any investment strategy. You should be aware of the real risk of loss when buying and selling any assets, including but not limited to NFTs, tokens, or securities. Always conduct your own research and strongly consider seeking the advice of a financial or legal expert. And now, here's Crypto Chris G with TopeTalk.
What's up, guys? Thanks for the introduction, as always, from Cryptomedic and my AI girlfriend. I miss her. I only get to see her once a week, but this was great. Thanks, everyone, for being here early, man. Go ahead and, if you don't mind, retweet the space. Let's get a few more people in here. It's obviously a nice, beautiful Thursday. Looks like it's about to rain outside here in Tampa, but other than that, we got a ton of cool stuff to talk about today. I got some awesome guests, somebody who came back in the space. He's been missing for a while. Super excited to have Miggy back around. So we're going to jump in with him and Kai here with the Eden.game. Oh my God, had a meeting with him, and I am super excited to hear from those guys, as well as, we're going to jump into some news too. So without further ado, we'll start off with some introductions, jump into some news, and we'll go into some tech, man. Thanks for being here, Cryptomedic. I'll let you do the brother quote today. I don't want to steal that one from you. How you doing, man?
Good, my brother from another mother. How are you today? It is.
We chilling, dude. We chilling. It's been an interesting day in crypto. We're not going to dive into the non PG-13 stuff that's taking place today, but we'll definitely go into some other things. Thanks for being here, bro.
No Barbie today. Let me just be clear. No PG-13.
There was definitely some Barbies around, but we'll just leave it at that. Mr. Kai, man, what's going on, bro? Thanks for being here. This is the founder of XPunks and founder of onxrp.com and UniXpunks, and he's got Eden.game coming out here. Thanks for being here, bro. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for the warm welcome, and thanks for the bangers while we were waiting. I appreciate that, DJ. But no, awesome for the invitation, and definitely our meeting definitely inspired me. So yeah, great to be here.
Sick, bro. We also had a chance to meet with Miggy. We've had a lot of friendship with Miggy for a long time. He disappeared, took some time to Web2 it out, and he's getting ahead of the storm and joining back into Web3. We missed you, man. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, everybody? I appreciate you having me on, and I definitely missed you guys too, and I missed being in the community. So I'm happy, to be able to find my way back and, really be able to contribute and see all the great things that you guys are doing. And I'm just happy to be here in general. So I look forward to this space. Thank you.
For sure. Is your partner on the Eden account, or is that also you?
Yeah, that's the co-founder that you've met.
Oh, fantastic.
Hey, man, this is Bastian.
What's up,
Doing
bro?
great,
So we actually
man.
have the Eden account in here as well. If you haven't had a chance, please give a follow to the Eden account. They are creating an absolute banger of a ecosystem on the XRP side of things, and would love to dive into that a little bit later. But how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Thanks for asking. It's good to talk to you guys again, and it's lovely to be here. We've had a long day. This is now the fourth Twitter space. We released the trailer today. We announced a launch date, and it is now almost midnight. So I might be a bit tired, but I'll do my best to still be of service to you guys and talk about the wonders of Eden and Web3 gaming in general.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for being here in the wee hours on a Thursday night. Now it's Friday for you. It's Friday. Yeah. Anyway, Enzo, what's up, dude? We got Mr. Enzo in the building, all the way from Uruguay. What's going on, bro?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Doing good. Enjoying the pretty nice weather that we've been having. It's midwinter and we're having kind of like spring kind of days. Been 70s, 80s, so it's been really nice. I don't know what's wrong with the weather in Uruguay, but even though it's been nice, I still need some rain because we are still going through a drought. We can't figure that out. But other than that, been doing really good, man. The market is in an interesting position right now, especially with everything coming out. And I'm pretty sure between this month and next month are the last 2 months of low volatility before we start seeing some movement. So interesting to keep an eye and start marking things out on charts if you're waiting for volatility. So yeah, it's interesting. Been a good couple of weeks, and hopefully we see a good few months coming up.
Sick, brother, sick. And then we do have one more surprise guest here, Mr. Anthony, on the stage. What's going on, dude?
Hey guys, Anthony from Ireland here. I'm here in support of Kai there in Eden. I've been following the project since day one. I actually have in my profile picture there a collab from X Rooms, my ex-army punk and a fat cat. So that's my little homage to them there. But yeah, it's late in Ireland after a couple of bottles there. So, yeah, just a couple of questions there later on for Kai and the Eden team. And thanks for all the spaces today. Fair play.
Awesome, bro. For sure. We'll definitely get you some question time here as well. But first, guys, thanks for introducing yourselves. Love to jump into some of the news in the space in general today before we get started. Basically what I've been seeing on the bigger side of things, we've had some interesting stuff come out about Web3 gaming. There's some hot takes about Zuckerberg. He loses a cap of about 40 billion on collective losses when it comes to the metaverse trust that he had. And, I think that just happened. That's just bleeding out with a lot of the other parts of the market. And it seems like, I'm not sure if that's ready to stop yet. So interesting enough, I think that we're seeing a lot of, turn-based, we're seeing a lot of card games, a lot of easier type of routes for the gaming side of things. But, the industry accepts those pretty well. They're easy to use. They're not requiring heavy uplift of like a gaming machine. And I'm curious, what do anybody has a hot take here on that kind of stuff? Do you feel like these Hearthstone style of card games on mobile and like Magic the Gathering style, do you think this is going to have a sustainable effect on the industry? Anybody can answer on that.
So when it comes to gaming, I think the generation that like this younger generation are more into action or like some sort of game where they can do actionable stuff. I think card games used to be like a thing, like a bigger thing, like back in the day. Like I remember playing like with Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and like actual card games with my parents and stuff. But like the generation of kids that are growing up now, you see them playing Fortnite, you see them playing Free Fire, PUBG, like they're all into action gaming. Like I don't think we're gonna get the attention of this generation with card games. That's just what I've seen. Like that's just my take. I could be wrong. I don't have the actual analytics in front of me, so I can't tell you from facts, but it's just like what I'm seeing. So I could be wrong, but I don't think this generation is into the card style games. But again, I'm open to being wrong.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest though, like when it comes to Hearthstone and some of these other online card style games with having like rankings and stuff, there's definitely a player base for it. But what exactly does that what does that mean for Web3? Like, how is that as a free to play type of genre? I mean, it seems like it's been front running the Web3 side of things and the NFT community, but like a lot of these games fizzled out over time because like there wasn't a sustainable type of ecosystem. Like a lot of people that play the games are in less fortunate countries where $100 is a week's worth of food. So like it makes a lot of sense to scale like on that side of things. But for like a full-time position as a player in these games in the United States or countries like the United States, I don't see how somebody can make like a full-time salary or playing this kind of stuff. So I'm really excited to see more stuff that are AAA versions or just like projects that have taken years and have gotten funding to create a better experience and a higher quality. So really excited to see what goes on from there. Another big thing on the side of NFTs is we saw that Beeple purchased a CryptoPunk yesterday. It was a $208,000 purchase. Very bullish on that. The CryptoPunks haven't seen as much of a turn of their collection price as the other collections have, such as Bored Apes. But at the same time, you've got companies like Animoca, game called Wrecked League is implementing Bored Apes into their storyline. You see that there's an F1 team potentially putting Bored Apes onto the U.S. Grand Prix across the finish line. If they get a win, would be pretty sick. And then also, I think Yuga Labs acquired a company called Roar Studios, which will kind of accelerate their other side vision. So I love that a lot of these companies are just kind of heads down, not letting the FUD or the floor price be an effect. And I think that's one of the biggest things to think about. Sure, Bored Apes are down from their all-time highs substantially. However, they're still up from the mint price at 0.08 ETH when they did mint. So go ahead, CryptoMedic.
Thank you, brother. And I want to throw it back to these guys on that gaming stuff. But yeah, I mean,
you're a little quiet, bro.
Oh, sorry. Is that a little better? Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it back to these guys in just a sec because I want to get their take on what Enzo said and the gaming side of things. I also want to get their take on two other types of games that I think are coming to the space, right? We have like what Helix is doing, which is like the GTA style game and trying to basically let's make a city, let's give people jobs and a way to earn in playing the game. So I think there's very interesting things being done on that front. And then we also have, of course, the esports side of things. So when you said, like difficult to earn playing these things like in the US, I mean, I know there's some big US players in esports which make a pretty good living as well. Be interested to hear the other panelists' thoughts.
Yeah, let's jump over to Miggy.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think as far as like being a cornerstone for the current current gaming industry and the current gaming trends, card games will definitely not going to be something that everybody's going to flock to. But as far as like the foundation of gaming itself, these are games and these are concepts that are very familiar to a big chunk of the world. Card games have been around for a very long time, but I do think it may help out as far as the collectability aspect of NFTs and help reinforce that concept of why we want to use Web3 with gaming, or at least a small reason of why we want to add that to it. That as far as being able to have these assets that may be digitized but are collectible, because even just recently, we saw what was it? The One Ring, the card. It was sold for 6 figures. Post Malone just bought it. So that tells us right there, there is a market for it, for people to buy these physical things that they want to collect because, for whatever reason, clout, game advantages. And so I think with these new card games coming out and, they may not be the biggest driver for pulling in a lot of people. But like I said, I think it'll help instill the value of what NFTs, bring to the table when it comes to gaming and help reinforce the idea of collectability and the value that, is found in that. And so it'll at least be a good stepping stone as these other games, start to come out and these bigger studios start to invest into these industries and really start to bring, the games that we do know and love that we currently are playing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's run it over to Kai.
Yeah, I think currently the biggest problem is very straightforward It is just most Web3 games are just not fun to play, you know? It is more of an argument where games are built to earn, and gamers don't want to feel like they're working when they're gaming, you know? Like, if I'm gaming, I just want to be lazy. I don't want to think about things. I just want to play my game with my friends or alone and not have the feeling that I'm doing it for money or for benefit, except for, you know, just leisure. So what I also think is that most Web3 games that have been built are just focused on the fact that they're using blockchain, you know, just use blockchain for the sake of it, which is also a very bad angle. But yeah, a great marketing funnel, well, a great marketing argument in a bull market, you know? So I think if you just focus on having this cool game, this Web2 experience with a Web3 integration where it makes sense, the onboarding of users are going to be a lot easier, because you actually build something that is fun to play. And I think that's where you should start, you know, focus on the experience and focus on the actual problems that blockchain are solving.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like it doesn't need to be considered a Web3 game. You know, it's like if you have like Web3 fundamentals or some sort of like mechanics in the back end, like that doesn't affect the user experience, and you know, it's just like another video game that they can that has hype and they get around and you have progression and stuff. Like as long as you're progressing and maybe it doesn't need to be on chain, right? So I think that's something that a lot of a lot of game builders in the space from the previous cycle with NFTs and all that hype around it failed to understand was like when you put words Web3 or you put like you make it so focused on what the technology is, the underlying technology, you're kind of drawing your way those people that want to be lazy, that really don't really care about it. They just want to play a fun game. And if it has NFTs, cool. Oh wait, you can sell that? Oh cool. Well, that's kind of what Counter-Strike does, right? You know, they're kind of like a 2.5 with their loot boxes, and people are able to gamble in that. Like that's the type of stuff where I think, you know, you're going to see a lot more drive and hype is the uncertainty, the speculation, and when you don't have a speculation involved, like some sort of mechanic like that, like loot boxes and stuff, or you know that type of stuff, I think you're losing half of the community aspect and it becomes more of like who's got more money. And we all know like pay to win games and the Web2 side, like those tend to slip and drown. I mean, a perfect example was like BDO, Black Desert Online. Man, when that game first came out, that was fun as hell. But then all of a sudden, the pay to win aspect came through, and now they just did a expansion and bringing a lot of user base back because a lot of it is, you know, cosmetic action now versus you know, the previous experience people had. Let's run over to Anthony.
Hey guys, yeah, just Kai there. You know, this morning, well, I don't know, where are you located? Are you Europe?
Yeah, Portugal. So we're about the
Portugal?
same time zone.
Yeah, 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 definitely. You're just underneath us. So the the who was it? The bucket. What's the name of the guy? The crypto guy. That sorry, I'm losing the hair now.
No, it's okay. You take your time, brother.
The first space this morning. It was you were on with the what's his
In
name?
NFT Daily.
Yes, sorry. And you know, I bought my punks. I bought 7 of them long time ago because I knew, you know, just thought the first white paper, you know, and just, you know, I don't game, so this is why I came on. Do you game? I listened to Two the Spaces this morning, right, and loved it. You know what I mean? Because he actually, you know, the value that you're bringing is just immense, and you know, like we got nothing for a good while. You know, it was kind of like we're like, Jesus Christ, will this ever hurry on? Like, you know, look, this is an Irishman. I'll curse. It's not meant, right? But you know, in the last couple of weeks, it's been fucking brilliant. You know,
Well, that's
Even
what
with
you need to do. You need to be able to build. You know, when you're building versus just trying to get, like when you're not building, you're just trying to release stuff. You get that experience where like you need time to build, and sometimes it's quiet, right, Anthony? Gets a little
all
quiet
right.
sometimes.
Yes, sorry, I kind of went off stage there. I just had a big joint there before I got on. Sorry about that. So what I was trying to say was right. So I don't game, right? Look, I love everything you're doing. It's fucking amazing. I had 7 punks. The guy that put out the tweet this morning, I retweeted it. It was brilliant. He actually bought my punk. He had 9 punks put out in this thing, and he gave out a great thread. I can't remember his name, no, but I followed him. He had my punk, one of my punks up in the top left corner. I was lucky enough. The reason I bought it is because I had to sell some of my XDC and my Reaper and Essential. I'm not fucking shilling anything, but I was so happy because 2 of them pumped after they sold it, and I had to get some coins. I had a flat tire, so I had to just anyway. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't game. Look, the only game I was ever good at growing up was Dynasty Warriors. If anybody relates to that,
Yeah, I know Dynasty Warriors.
yeah, like maybe 1, 2, and 3. I was the boss at that. I fucking loved it. Do you know what I mean? Because there wasn't much, you really needed to do except for kill everybody, you know? So I'm not that great. So, like, when I moved to Australia with all my friends years and years back, they used to be all sitting down and, like, I'd get on, I'd play FIFA. And look, I'd no interest in it. And, I'd lose and I'd be just sitting there, I'd be like, well, whatever, Not for me. So, my question is, sorry for rambling out. My question is, will there be so it's going to be on your keyboard, yeah, on the computer, the Eden game.
Yes, yes, it will.
Okay. Is there going to be any compatibility to maybe a joystick or anything like that? No.
Um, Probably not in V1, but it's something if there's demand from the community, if more people would like to play with controller, we'll definitely add it in there.
Okay, perfect. And the main question, just for me, because I'm so interested, like the way you explained it this morning, like with the footsteps, somebody could be coming up, or you hear that shot in the background, and you'll have to go over and see it. Will that be actually somebody that's after killing somebody and they're waiting for another couple of heads to come along and then kill all them, And it could be some guy you would have to fucking talk to 10 minutes ago inside the thing. It's so great, I'm so interested in it, and I'm absolutely shit at. I've never played a game on my laptop. It's just purely for crypto. So what? All right, I'll get to the fucking question. Is there going to be maybe a tutorial on actually how to play, or I don't know, do you have this in the works? Just like I know it's for proper gamers, definitely, but is there going to be like a tutorial for people that actually don't know how to game?
Oh
Sorry
yeah,
for the big long thing there, but I'm just after a couple of bottles there. I
no,
appreciate you, folks.
all good, all good. I appreciate the love and the positive energy. Definitely, thanks for that. But yeah, definitely. So, what the beauty is of a game and what is very hard in Web3 to do on a continuous basis is, create great content. And because we created such an extensive game, we can create so much content, especially when it comes to tutorials. I want everyone to know everything about the game, and for me, it's also a great excuse to, not hop in a couple meetings, but just hop into Eden, play with some people, film it, and then, tell everyone what I'm doing. It's a great excuse to finally
Sounds
game again.
amazing. Jesus Christ. I literally can't wait to just get in there and just stroll around. Because if your neighbor, you're getting used to talking to your neighbor and fucking good buddies, but that could be a sly bastard. I just cut your throat when you're not looking and rob everything you have. That's what I think is so great about it. And it's literally, it's real assets. Do you know what I mean? Like I know I've listened I listened to everything that you brought out. Like, in the last couple of weeks, it's been fantastic because it just keeps coming. So like, I'm so happy about that. But like, you're talking about like a RuneScape and all these kind of things. I've never played any of them, but I get the reason I bought the NFTs is because I knew that, like, in the Web2 games, the only way you could get money is like the black market. There was no kind of, you know, I didn't know much about it, but I looked into it. Obviously, that's before I bought the NFTs, was obviously like. But this is just totally legit, and like, oh my god, once the adoption comes in,
Well, I think so. Basically, when Anthony,
it's so good. Like,
just to kind of like reiterate what you were saying. So like the first thing you asked was like, is there going to be a sort of controller type of way to play the game, which I think is a fantastic question. So I'm glad that you were able to ask that. And then, yeah, like when it comes to like what they're doing in the sense of the hardcore, like hardcore PvP isn't for everybody. And but when you have a game that does it the right way and gives like, it's gonna be a great community type of aspect, because that's how Escape from Tarkov and some of these other exfil games have created success. And I think yeah, like when you played games in the past with like the black market, or you would use a gold farmer to get gold on World of Warcraft, and you could get banned if you were caught. And a lot of these games have then created ways to incorporate that kind of market, like created almost like a stock chart of what the value of the gold is worth, such as like Guild Wars 2. And I think, I guess that's a great question to ask, is that something that you guys are incorporating in Eden.game, where you'll be able to almost tokenize the currency in game to not pay to win per se, but maybe to get cosmetics? Or is it going to be a way where you can buy guns that are better and have a more of a pay to win style?
Yeah.
so
So
can I hold on? Can I just give one small thing?
Sure.
Sorry for interrupting. As you said, I think it was with the first it was about 2 weeks ago. You said that there was you can bring your other NFTs into maybe your prefab, or if you want a dome or something like that. So you said with the selling of items, the NFTs said your health, your health packs, your guns, all this kind of stuff. That there'll be a place inside there. You don't have to go on XRP, and there'll be a place inside there. So what I want to get at is, so your NFTs that you're left bringing in. This is just a side note. If you think, you know, if somebody comes into your prefab, you leave them in, whatever, and they have a look around and they notice maybe one of your NFTs inside there. Maybe you have like a small little marketplace inside there that.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
You want to take it, guys?
sure. What we did is we wanted to make it as seamless as possible for both on-chain and off-chain users. As the game is built off-chain, you can trade in-game assets with each other without having to deal with blockchain. So also, especially catering Web2 gamers to have this seamless onboarding where they don't even have to have a wallet or set up a wallet to play the game to the fullest extent. But you can also take your NFTs off-chain into your wallet, and then we integrated the OnXRP marketplace into the game itself, where you can also buy those guns and sell those guns in the game in the game itself.
Yes, yes, I know that, but I'm just saying, uh, you know, that you're left to import some of your other NFTs into, like, say, if you wanted a picture in your prefab.
Oh yeah,
Of
you can. You can hang
so
any XRP Ledger NFT for now in your prefab, and in the future we're looking to integrate other chains as well.
yeah, so the question was, I'm so sorry for taking up so much time. If somebody is in your prefab and they see that NFT, say it's a shroom or a reptile or something like that, if there was a place, I know this is down the line now, but if they see it and they go, fuck it, that's lovely there, could they buy it in there then, as you could buy the weapons and stuff like that? I mightn't have been explaining it right there, but
Yeah, I'd like you mean that if
You
somebody,
understand?
for example, yeah, if somebody sees an NFT hanging on your wall and
Yeah,
you could maybe interact with it to place a bid on it or something.
exactly. Yes, yes,
That
yes.
is a good idea. Yeah.
Like a
I
peer to
haven't
peer.
thought about that.
All
I'm
right,
a bit ashamed that we haven't thought about this, guys.
trademark there, trademark
Yeah.
Coops. Listen, thanks for the time, lads. I'll enjoy the rest of it. Thank you.
No, of course. Thanks for the questions, Anthony. And whatever kind of dabs you got over there in Ireland, that is some strong stuff. I can tell you what. I can smell it from here. But let's
On
get
the
to the
ball.
hands real quick. Enzo, I know you've been holding up. Let's go, bro.
Uh, Dude, so my thought was with looking at a few of these games and why we some of the problems as to why we haven't onboarded more people. Aside from like the people that want to play a game and don't want to feel like they're working, if you look at the tokenomics for some of the projects, for some of the P to play to earn games that came out in Web3, if you look at the chart, they're absolutely garbage. I mean, most of coins that launch with these games have gone down 99%, and I don't think there's any hope of bringing them back up. And the thing that we have to focus on is maybe the games that launch that have a token, maybe they have an amazing gaming team, they have amazing 3D artists, they have an amazing artist, they can make these amazing worlds, but they don't have an economist in their game that can tell them how to properly keep their token up. That's what I've noticed with a lot of these games. It's like they launch, they have an amazing launch, you play the game for like 3 4 weeks, 3 4 weeks, you're making $200 $300 a week. Sometimes maybe if you're really good and you're grinding it out, $100 a day. Because I saw this with a friend here in Uruguay that started playing some Web3 game, and he was playing like Plants vs Zombies or something like that, and he was getting like $100 a day. And then I talked to him like before I got into crypto. So like a month after he told me about the game, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not making any money." He was still playing the game, just wasn't making any money. The token like dropped 99%. And that's where the problem lies. Like no one, like if the game is not good, then you're not going to get a player to just go and play your game, because they'll know, hey, I have 3 to 4 weeks where I can play this game, make some money, and as soon as I'm done squeezing money out of this game, the game's done. Move on to it's like the same thing that happens with meme coins. Meme coins, if you get in at the right time, you like squeeze it up all the way to the top, and then you look for the next one. And that's what happens. Like these people can't retain players because they either don't have a fun game or they don't have good enough tokenomics to keep someone there to keep them making money. So if you don't have a fun game, then you have to like get an economist, like pay the extra money for an economist to come into your ecosystem, figure out how to make the token deflationary, how to keep the token at a stable price so that you can keep a stable fan base that can continue to make money. But yeah, that's like a huge problem that I saw with play to earn, because that's how I came in. I came in through Jade, and then I got into Chicken, which was play to earn. So yeah, most of the tattoos I even have on me are play to earn or some sort of game theory. So I mean, yeah, I've seen the tokenomics for it, and I've seen the downfall of it. So that's where my out view is on this.
Gotcha. And just for a heads up, Eden Game. If you guys have a really good game come out, most likely we'll have Enzo put that on a tattoo on his body. He is the walking NFT tattoo. Just FYI. Let's go over to Miggy here.
Nice. I have one as well on my arm of an X-Punk.
He's got like 50 games on him.
Oh shit. Okay, that is a milestone we're gonna put in the roadmap.
Go ahead, Miggy.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to agree with them. That I think a big problem we saw with a lot of these games early on was that they were trying to build a game around an NFT idea or concept. Very few of them were actually building a game and incorporating NFTs into that game. they were kind of doing it backwards, which we saw that happen time and time again, and failure of the tokenomic structure because everybody kept trying to have an NFT project and make a game work around it instead of building a good game and then just adding the functionality of NFTs. Because I mean, looking at the history of games, like we have plenty of game models that have great examples of a working economy. I mean, World of Warcraft, for example, has been running for a very long time. Their economy works just fine. Yeah, it's not structured to things that can be extracted yet, but the example of how their economy is and how it flows and how things work, their resources and their tokens that they have or whatever, like it works. And so being able to model these new games after games like that, I think is going to be key because we already have concepts that are very valuable in their example. And so I think we're starting to see that now. We're starting to see more studios step in and build good games and use the foundation of what we already see works and apply it, and then take NFTs and tokenomics and add that to it in the best way possible. Because that's what we did. I worked for a game studio. We were building an MMORPG called Altera, and the founder for that game was an avid gamer. He played lots of these games, Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft. He has all these big accounts that he's had for 20 years, plus. And so what our goal was to take what worked in gaming now, build a fun game, and then use what blockchain has, all the great things about it, and add it to a working model. And so, we're still in the process of working things out, but I'm seeing more games start to do that. And I think, that is the pathway that we need to go on, because if we look at the gaming industry as it exists now, it's one of the few that are continually thriving. COVID really pushed the envelope for it. And what we saw was that there were very many people in the world who were willing to spend a lot of money just for enjoyment. Not that many people were buying into games or paying money into games for monetary extraction, and the game industry took over entertainment and sports combined, and is still continually thriving. And so there are still a lot of people spending a lot of money just to have fun. So we know that there's something about the gaming industry that works, that people are willing to invest in just to have a good time. There are people that monetize and make money, but very few. And so if we could take what's working now, add, a good tokenomic structure, add a good blockchain ledger, digital assets that have true ownership, we can really make Web3 work for the gaming industry and make it work in a way that, hey, if you're somebody who is investing in a game purely for the fun of it, well, now you have the opportunity to extract some value out of it because of your time that's being spent in it. Maybe you just get back the money that you invested and you break even. Maybe you're a grinder and you keep playing and you end up pulling, something that is extremely valuable to somebody else. But, we have examples that have worked. And I think now it's time to look at that and really just kind of take a step back from Web3 and look at what is currently working and then just apply, what we have.
Yeah, I don't think anyone needs to really reinvent the wheel. Like you said, just like take something and do it better. And I think that's where you're going to see Eden.game really play a pivotal role, is taking a game like Escape from Tarkov and adding different type of stuff into an exfil style that, that's just basically taking what's happened in Web 2 that's been successful and creating a reason to, and to create a adoption of NFTs into it. But I'll let Eden talk more about that here.
Yeah, I love what Enzo just said, like his observation that it's funny that because I have been thinking something similar for a long while. Indeed, is these projects that bring out these tokens, and these tokens just completely tank after a while because the in-game mechanics that drive the value of that. I mean, if they even have in-game mechanics that drive the value of the token, that is, if they are there, in a lot of cases, those mechanics are based on very boring, repetitive tasks, etc., etc. What you should really look at is Miggy also said it perfectly, is there are Web 2 games that do it perfectly, such as World of Warcraft. You have RuneScape, a game that we have really modeled our in-game economy after is EVE Online, although I have to say we're nowhere near their complexity yet. I mean, EVE Online is probably the most complex digital economy ever made. I think, if I were to make a guess. But yeah, if you want your in-game economy to function as an economy, you should actually just follow actual market principles and make sure that players are empowered to build their own emergent market structures. That is super important, and we want to build as many handles in the game as possible over the long run to give people the freedom to undertake their own economic activities, maybe even come up with economic activities that we haven't even foreseen people would be doing. So rather than people just following our predetermined gameplay loops, I want people to just think, okay, like maybe I can hire someone to go into the wasteland for me and get these assets on a regular basis, and maybe we can build something in the game that enables people to set contracts with each other, hunting contracts, etc. We have all these ideas on trying to find out how we can let people really be their own economic actors and start building their own organizations, start collaborating. Maybe we'll even get at a point that you really get people that become very wealthy in the game, or really build an empire without ever even venturing into the wasteland themselves. That is really what I want to go for. Is not only if you are in Eden, you can become that hardcore FPS gamer, but you can also become someone else, someone who's focused on crafting all day, or someone who's focused on making deals with other players, or a trader, etc. That is really what we want to go for. And
Ooh,
then you
I
get
like
this,
that, bro. I
then
really
you
like
get this
that.
diverse. Yeah, thanks, man. Then you get this diverse economy, and that is in the end, I think any complex structure functions by the merit of it being very diverse, and that is what we're going to focus on with Eden in the long run.
That brings up such a unique aspect. I mean, dude, that reminds me of like player-driven economy through like some of these other games that have come out where you do have people that don't actually love the PvP. They just want to craft and build out like different ways to enhance their guild or their clan, right? So like that enables the P to E play to P to E, not play to earn, but like the instead of PvP play to P to E, which God, I'm like running around my mind right now because I got so excited. But the one that wants to play against the environment, right? Like wants to have that crafting mechanic. Dude, there's people out there that just love to craft to create better ways. And I'm assuming like I'm not assuming, but I would say a good idea would be like where they can help craft that person that goes out into the wilderness or goes into the exfil scenario with a little bit better of maybe a player crafted armor set or gun that gives them a little bit of an edge, but it's not like the best edge, but it gives them a chance to get some better gear. And that's important. Like given that type of experience in my mind, giving people like a crafting, you're creating a vertical where it allows more sustainable gaming versus it just being specifically towards, go shoot other people or shoot drones and try to collect airdrops and stuff. Right. So I love that, man. And then you can create, like more of like a, stuff to put around the buildings. Like maybe you have like a district and like you all get the land plots in that same district and create like your own little town. I think that's so cool. And obviously this is like very difficult stuff to do from scratch. So I'm glad that you guys have been taking the time and been heads down. And honestly, I was bullish when Anthony said that you guys have been quiet for a while, because if you're quiet, you're building. And that's a very bullish signal, as long, compared to like Star Atlas, which took a lot of my money off the front end, and that's worth at zero right now because they didn't just get quiet, they stopped everything, in my opinion. So no, that's really cool. And I think what Miggy said earlier about Altera, I'm super excited to see where that goes, because that's probably the most bullish MMORPG that I've seen so far. And I think that's a vertical that you have to do it right, or it can have some major issues on sustainability. So I think between Eden being a more of a action-packed, community-driven type of exfil version with lands and everything like that on the back end to create guild halls and your own home base is a great way for people to get that type of fix. And then having MMORPGs with that medieval style and more like fantasy version make these two games something that I can't wait to see completions over the course of the next year or two. And people got to realize, like, instant gratification in this space it's a very huge burden on the development teams. When you rush things, mistakes are made or things are overlooked. And we've seen a case of that on a lot of the previous versions. Like Enzo said, everything has been pretty non-sustainable from the beginning. And I actually went on to Elixir Games yesterday just to kind of look at some of the games they had, and I joined a browser-based game, and you just get like threw into a land, and it's like, oh, here's an alpha for you, and you're just like, well, what do I do now? So having opportunities to have gameplay footage and ways to understand what to expect going in, I think is going to provide a better user experience than what we've been seeing so far.
Yeah, I love that. It's exactly the vision that we're striving to follow. There's just something about games, and I've played quite a lot of them since I was very young. There's just something super appealing about these games that have these complex market structures in them, because you as the player, you find yourself at a certain point thinking about ways to make money, like creative ways to trade your way up or whatever, that no one else has thought about yet. And that is something that has always appealed to me a lot. Like back in the day playing RuneScape, you would be looking at these third-party tools that would tell you about the scarcity of the resource of the day, and you'd start thinking like, how can I trade and craft and then trade up and whatever, that no one has thought about of yet. And that, I think that game is eternally appealing, and I think in the long run that is what keeps people coming back when they've had enough of just running around and shooting each other. That is then really where that extra depth and complexity comes from, that really keeps people engaged in the long run.
Yeah, and seasonal stuff too, right? Like if you incorporate like seasonal type of skins, you can draw in like more players, because like if something is only available for a limited time, that'll create a speculative asset and something that can get traded. I mean, on top of that, think about like when you take something into like a scenario, and it's costs your crafter a lot of whatever the crafting materials are that take place, and you lose that. Imagine somebody doesn't pick it up off the ground or loot the body because it just wasn't, maybe you're too deep or somewhere that you couldn't get to, but that item's gone forever, right, once the exfil's done. So I think there's a lot of cool ways to utilize rarities into that. And then on the side of like MMORPG side, it's like always progressing the same character over time. I'm really excited to see what Altera does on that end, more like how World of Warcraft does with different tiers and that gaming system that way, always giving somebody something better to achieve, and providing a really good user experience for a new player as well, even if it's like a year-old game. And yeah, I think this was a great conversation to really identify both of Eden as well as Altera, and just some stuff that like doesn't require like breaking news or really divulging into NDA stuff, but got a really good point across about what the future of gaming should look like, being off chain versus on chain, and just building in this time where nobody should, no one really wants to launch a game right now in the first place. You need a user base to make it successful. But Medic, let's go to you, and let's go to Kai.
Yeah, real quick before we start to kind of wind this down, I'd like somebody to tell me what the hell XRP is. Where do I get a wallet? How do I get started? No, I love it, and I'm going to need to look into more of this. So, Chris, I'll be pinging you up later.
Yeah, no worries, man. We can definitely dive into XRP. I mean, it's not smart contract based, which is interesting. So really, it's definitely something to take note of, especially since the news recently with XRP has been very positive. So except for now that Coinbase SEC asked Coinbase to take everything off except Bitcoin to be trading, which is hilarious. So real quick, Kai, we'll go to you. We'll finish up with Anthony, and then we'll kind of do our closing thoughts here.
Yeah, for sure. So I just tagged to help you guys. Here is a very easy guide on how to get into XRP NFTs. Just follow those steps, and then you also have the marketplace, also our marketplace, by the way. So yeah, just an easy guide. No, I wanted to say we're talking about breaking news. So I didn't want to go in there, but we do have some breaking news because we released the trailer and the mint date today.
Oh, snap. Okay, okay. We do have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. We have an Eden.com trailer. Go ahead. I'll let you go. I'll let you say it, Kai. I almost took away the...
No, do it. I'm enjoying it.
No, I'm not going to do it. You do it.
So, breaking news! We have a trailer with gameplay. So actually, we thought we'd do it a little bit different. We actually built the game and released gameplay footage before any mint takes place. So yeah, it is all in there. I really hope you guys like it. And yeah, the Landfill mint is gonna be the 22nd of August.
Do we have any idea of what is okay? So real quick, that land sale. Curious. So is that something that is going to need to be purchased through XRP or on XRP.com or minted that way, or how is there going to be a way to connect Ethereum wallets for that stuff, or just get an idea if I need to if I need to learn how to do this beforehand.
Yeah, you need to learn how to do it because there's no smart contracts, there's no MetaMask. So we have our own wallet called the Zom wallet. It's a mobile-based wallet. Works super smooth. Just setting up is a little bit of a hassle. You need to store keys and then retype them in a way that you're not used to. Takes a bit of time, but as soon as you're past that progress, it works amazing. There's not a built-in browser, which is great because you can just use your own browser on your phone or your computer. It's super safe. So yeah, you need that. Then you need to pre-fund your wallet with XRP. We're doing our best getting credit card payments live as well. So then you only need to activate your wallet with 10 XRP. If not, you need to pre-fund it. Yeah. So yeah, what was your last question?
No, that covers it. I mean, so the land
awesome.
sale. My last question was going to be, is there a mint price on land, or is it going to be based off the location?
So we have three types of real estate basically. We have prefabs. Prefabs gives you in-game utility for like crafting, for extra storage and displaying your NFT. There are 62 of these in one dome. We haven't set a mint price yet, but it will be around $120. Then we have land plots, which basically contains eight prefabs that are next to each other. And they will be able to use like software development kits to build those out the way that you're used to in metaverses. They'll go around $700 probably. Again, price is not set. And then we have domes. There's going to be 62 of those domes only because the entire map covers 250 domes. And these 62 domes, they will not be accessible, but they'll be coming with a prefab in Dome 1. And that's going to be like Governor's Village. And that is just like a huge flex, obviously. And there's going to be some fun stuff in there as well. And then the dome itself will also be enabled through software development kits to build it out. So you can think of, brands building their own thing in the dome, other communities, or perhaps, you can make it as crazy as you want. We just want to offer the flexibility within these domes for creators to create. And then obviously you have most of the area, which are the prefabs, which offer, extra in-game utility.
Cool. So you're gonna have like little groups of clan members or guilds, kind of like picking out their area and trying to set up a nice little square to create like a little ecosystem.
Exactly.
Sick, man.
Exactly.
Anthony, our favorite stoned out Irishman. What do you got for us?
Right. Well, you actually asked one of the questions, but it wasn't the answer that I was expecting from the guys. But the main thing was in the background, I had like 5 people, message me, a couple Irish ex-punks, and we were just chatting away, and we're wondering when will there be. Listen, I'd fucking love to be able to make it to Amsterdam. Jesus Christ, that sounds. Listen, being in, getting wrecked with everybody all fucking night long, and then watching the sunset from the top of Amsterdam, unbelievable. What a fucking treat for whoever goes. I can't make it, but it will be amazing. So you should actually promote that a bit more on these challenges. But the question being was, so with when I had a look on XRP, it came up first that it was 5.89 XRP for the prefab, and I was like, fucking hell, that seems very cheap. And then I had another look, and then it was 6 XRP. But I was actually going to ask, is there going to be you know, a price for the actual Xpunk holders separate to, you know, the
So like a
normal crowd.
discount for holding X-Punks.
Yeah, there will be, of course.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was actually expecting, not being greedy or anything like, but I was actually expecting a prefab for holding an Xpunk. I know. Look,
I get what
it's
you're
not.
saying. You know, Anthony, I honestly like, do you guys have any of those cardboard boxes next to a dome? I'll take that for 1 XRP. I'll sleep in that thing.
Well, okay, so this is actually also something about the game. The prefab, it is amazing to have, and also, of course, as we build out the city further, and as the game is played more, we expect demand for those prefabs to increase as well. So this is an early opportunity to get your hands on a prefab, and it will also be the only situation in which we actually distribute the prefabs. But in the end, this is a markets-driven game, and a game in which you create your own fortune. So you can expect there will always be people who are less fortunate and who won't be able to get a prefab, for example. But that doesn't mean that they cannot get one. You know, if you play the game a lot and you are good in the game and I'm blanking on this one English word that I'm looking for, but you get your game going, you join a clan or whatever, you can work your way up to own one of those prefabs as well. You know, you do not need the prefab to enjoy Eden and to have a good time. But this is an early opportunity to get your hands on a prefab, and for Xbox holders, of course, there will be a discount and also some rare in-game item drops that will only be made available once for Xbox holders for free.
Yeah, Anthony, if you need a roommate, bro, I'll keep the place nice and tidy. Just give me one of the rooms in your dome, bro.
No, no,
Charge me
no,
like
no,
a
no, no,
0.2
no.
XRP rent.
Listen, let me ask. So, I have loads of questions. Look, I know you've limited time, but so can you
Let's go for one more
actually?
question, bro. One more. Your best question right here.
All right, can you sell your prefab to somebody?
Yeah, of course. It's all NFTs.
Okay. Maybe one. All right.
Last
Yeah,
one, Anthony. This will be the final banger right here.
All right. Let me think. Right. When's the next? This is for you know. Look, I know we're like 6,700. I think we're 30 or 40 or something like that now. What is the next? Look, obviously people are getting interested, and look, I have the questions, and I will be on the spaces, right? Hopefully, I won't be this drugged or stoned or whatever. You don't know, but it's good stuff. So what is? Look, we got the uni pumps, which is great. I think they should translate into a vehicle. But I don't know what you're about. But what is the next incentive for holding a punk? I know there's drops coming. We get little bits, from Discord. Everybody that's listening, get into Discord. There's for holding next punk, you could be liable or whatever. You can get it. Everybody's involved. XRP is the best. Everybody is good. So
So
what
your
is
question is, what's next? What is something else coming down the pipeline for you?
Yeah, I'd love to take this one because, and this is also what we're most enthusiastic about, is the best for Xbox holders in Eden is yet to come. That is yet to be announced as well. We have a very, very clear plan of what we want to do in V1.5 and V2, specifically for Xbox, for Xbox holders, of course, and also for the Xbox brand as a whole. We have devised a very, very extensive lore, which we're alluding to in the trailers as well. That's also why you now see the first cinematic X-Punk ever in the trailer that we dropped today. We have a very extensive lore lore, and we have some very concrete ideas on how we are going to bring the X-Punk character to life in Eden. In V1, sadly, in V1, it was just with the timeline, it was just not possible because when you're building a game, first you just have to build a whole lot of complex infrastructure, which is now built. So we have infrastructure, we have enough content to give players gameplay loops to keep enjoying the game. And now we can really just focus on content, more playable characters, more things that you can do, more areas that you can explore. And that way, as soon as we're happy with this build and people are playing, our site is going to be set on how are we going to bring that X-Punk story alive? And we have very concrete ideas on how we'll do that. And obviously, that will be coming with more utility for the X-Punk NFT.
Yeah, and I think it's also
last point.
All right, Anthony, you got one more.
Can we get like a shooting range to test our weapons and stuff like that? Because I'm going to be fucking brutal. I don't want to fucking lose all my stuff on the first go because I'm fucking on it.
You can join the Wasteland in a safe mode. So in an offline mode, you can bring any weapons that you want into the Wasteland, and when you go, when you enter the Wasteland, you can basically choose between like the actual exfiltration game mode. Then you can choose for a night mode. A night mode is it's dark, pitch black at night. The only thing you have is a knife and a backpack, and you scour again across the Wasteland to try to find stuff. So this is but nobody else will have weapons either. So everybody drops in with just a knife. So this is the game mode that we give to players who might not have too much stuff, and this is the way to get started. You just enter the Wasteland with a bunch of other people that only have their knives, and you try to find loot and exfiltrate successfully. And then thirdly, there's also the game mode offline mode, and then basically there's no other players. There's just you, the Wasteland, and the NPCs, and if you die, you keep your stuff. But I
have to go questions because you wouldn't have been able to bring it up. Right, I stepped down, lads. Brilliant. 4 spaces today. You're great. Thank you.
No, of course, man. Thank you. And I think
thank you, man.
If you haven't taken the time to give these guys a follow, also give Metatope and Miggy and everyone on stage.
I've done it.
Cool. And just to throw out there, man, that he said bring things to life, and that's something that we had a meeting with Eden because we're very very bullish on not only the game but the team behind the game. So in the future, I'm not going to drop any alpha here, but there's a reason we have meetings to on the back end to see how we can align and enhance each other's experience. So really excited to see what happens here. I want to thank everyone for being on the stage and everyone for that hung out and listened. Thanks to all the X-Punks that showed up. Mr. Miggy, man, thanks for being here as well, bro. I want to give you a little bit of real quick if you want to do some shout outs, Miggy, because you just got back into the Web3 scene, and then we'll have our bestest friend, Mr. Enzo. Man, I've been picking on Enzo to close out the spaces. He loves it. So Miggy, go ahead and say something, and then we'll get out of here.
Man, I really appreciate you guys hosting this space and letting me join, and it feels good, to come back and, do the thing again. So definitely, you guys, keep an eye out. I'll be working with Altera and a few other game studios, and we've got some things lined up, that we'll be bringing out over the next few months. And I'm going to be working my way into the Rare Evo event in Denver at the end of the month. So if you're going to be there, definitely hit me up and let me know. I'm working out a few details, but I should be there this month. And, hopefully we'll be bringing some pretty big stuff to the Web3 world when it comes to gaming. There's a lot of stuff happening in the background, and I'm excited, to be able to bring all this news out whenever I can. So appreciate you all the speakers on stage. Y'all are awesome. I look forward to checking Eden out and keeping up with what y'all are doing. And of course, keep up with Metatope. They've got some great things going on, and I'm super, super excited, to help be a part of what amazing things are going to be coming. So appreciate you guys.
No, thank you, bro. Actually, Enzo, that was good enough. We'll get you next week, Enzo, on this one, on the closeout. But go ahead and take us away, Crypto Medic, with a song. And thanks, guys, for being here. Till next Thursday for TopeTalk episode 60 weeks in a row. Insane. We're just getting started. We're in the bear, guys. It's can't wait to see these spaces have hundreds of gamers actively hanging out and joining the communities for all these different activations. And yeah, Miguel, I definitely want to get a alpha testing with your stuff on Altera and 100% on, as well as on Kai and the Eden ecosystem. So take us away, Medic.
I'll be hanging out in the bachelor pad with Anthony and you, Crypto Chris G. I'm gonna be there in Eden.
Yeah, cyberpunk. Yeah. I mix my ETH with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask. Yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Help me ET's phone. Whole body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need, golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital ID. I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Yeah, Metatope is your mirror to the metaverse. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone.